go, Jim. He's dead.
Hello, and welcome to Improv Autopsy. I'm your host, Stephen Cadwell. This is part 2 of my 3-part interview with improv mavens Shaun Landry and Hans Summers, filled with more amazing stories. I encourage you to listen, react, and respond. $500, please. Check out my Patreon for bonus content, even at the free tier, and drop me a line with any questions or comments you may have. But right now, buckle up for part 2 of Shaun and Hans' Improv Autopsy.
Now ask us both the worst suggestions we got in our lives. Come on, ask that question. I'm going to let you get one out.
If you remember, it's got to be bad. Yeah, now I feel like I'm going to rue this, but what's the worst suggestion you guys have gotten?
You go first, Hans. You give yours, and then I got a couple.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't think any suggestions were bad. I worked with anything.
Well, you work with
because
anything.
I made it where it was something rather than the bullshit.
Well, what about the ones that make you bristle?
No, I can't remember any that stuck with me.
You must be the luckiest man in your brain on the face of the planet.
Thank you. Well, I also don't remember the sets either. You do.
Yeah, I remember everything. He remembers only just
little snippets of
snippets
shows,
of snow.
Well, that was kind of fun.
Yeah. Me, on the other hand, I'm like an elephant.
I brainwashed myself after the show. It's over.
One that was not with We Be Negroes, but with Essence. My guiding lights in music is David Bowie, Sparks, Laurie Anderson. I'm wearing a David Bowie t-shirt on stage. It's with Essence. And we were asking actually fucked up suggestions. So I guess I'm like, what do you think a black woman would never be into? And we got things like art. And I'm like, which drove Kia nuts because that's what she does. It was like, she was like, wow, the racism that came out of these suggestions. Basically, our thing was how bad can this audience be in their mind on what a black woman would never be into? I'm wearing my Bowie shirt. And I go, give me something a black woman would never be into. And someone screamed, David Bowie. And I just went, are you fucking shitting me? Do you even know the history of David Bowie? Do you realize that half of his music had black musicians on it? Do you realize that he was the king of funk for white folks? Do you realize Parliament actually mentioned that they love David Bowie even though they pronounced it Bowie? I swear to God. So the entire fucking show, I just started every scene I came out with a David Bowie lyric. I walked out on stage and just went to, I think it was Kia or Keisha. I said, as they pulled me into the oxygen tent, they asked for the latest party. I don't understand why. This ain't rock and roll. This is genocide. Yeah, I just started fucking quoting Bowie, and Janitra started quoting lyrics back to me, and we made them scenes. And after the show, I went up to the dude and I said, you're a dick. And he goes, I just didn't think. I said, what, think I got this shirt at a flea market? I'm like, are you kidding me? Some of the things I've heard, oh my God, the N-word thrown out. The N-word thrown out. I mean, not nigga with an A. I mean the full-on ER.
Well, that's like the one person that called up for tickets for one of the shows.
Yeah.
What did they ask for the show?
Oi be the full N-word. The things I've heard, suggestions that every time when we were doing short form, every time when we would do story die, you do a story in the style of a genre style.
Yeah, it's orchestrated.
Yeah, orchestrated storytelling, and if you flub, misalign, or whatever, you die in the style of that story. If I heard porn more than my share, always with me, I always got porn. And this was during the height of the original pandemic, which is HIV/AIDS. And I would kill myself purposely to get off stage. So I could do it. Basically, I would come on stage with a cigarette when we could smoke on stage. And I go, was it good for you? So what's your name? So what do you do? So what else is going on with you? You have what? You have what? And then I get up look at the person who gave me the suggestion of porn. I said, well, I guess you won't see me die for another 20 to 30 years. And I walk off stage. And everybody go, oh, ooh. And I'm just like, yeah, look at the big brain on Brad. I'm like, I've heard so many horrible suggestions, and always, always ones where you think they're going to be interesting. Give us anything. Blue, porcupine, those kind of suggestions are what they are. And then you struggle, but they're never, give us a sentence. Back in the day when we were doing IO next door, when IO was upstairs in that old space before they moved next door on Clark Street, the O.J. Simpson trial was going on, and I'm like, we need smarter suggestions. So we started. I'm like, give us a suggestion that you read this month in the news. O.J. Simpson. Give us a suggestion you heard this week. O.J. Simpson. Give me a suggestion this week. O.J. Simpson was gone for 4 months. Give us any suggestion outside of O.J. Simpson.
Well, that's like when we were doing Boston and we were having breakfast in the diner.
Yeah.
And the people sitting at the next table asked the entire company, what do you think of OJ? Because everybody was black at the table.
Mm-hmm. And I said, he did some stuff. Now, how's about your Boston history? Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, how about Southie?
How about Southie? Why don't we talk about Southie? So, some of the suggestions have been just too much. But the thing is, I come from Second City. You always say, take your first suggestion, because there's nothing worse than going, give us a suggestion, and someone screams out penis or fucking or whatever. And then you go, that's great. How about someone else? That's a punk move. That's a punk move. That's a punk actor move. Don't do it. Going like, it's like, but if someone gives you a shit suggestion, call them out. Call them out. I've called out numerous people. That's my Geese Company training. Working with prisoners screaming shit at me, improvising, and then me going up to a rapist and saying, why did you give me that suggestion? Or a mass murderer, why did you give me that suggestion? And then they like freak out and then run in the back of the gymatorium.
What we've also learned over time is it's all in the structure of your ask. If you format your structure correctly, it puts it in a certain category, and it's less likely you're going to get a garbage suggestion.
And if you still get a garbage suggestion, there is nothing wrong with going up to the person and digging a little deeper. There's nothing, someone is like, I actually have on YouTube the worst suggestion ever, and actually an improviser screamed it at me. And we just talked about this just before we got on stage. I literally went, why would you say that to me? When we just talked about that, you're an improviser. And then he told me, and then we improvised about why people do the things that they do. So, yeah, but if you go up to someone and they give you a ridiculous, like gynecology, that's the worst one. Gynecology, because, you want to see somebody have their legs up and pretend like they're having a baby because that's sexy. So,
I think I now have the worst suggestion.
Oh, thank you, hon. Thank you for thinking. Thank you for thinking about that.
It just occurred to me the worst suggestion we ever got when we were in Denver. We were doing a Denver festival, and the suggestion from the audience was improv.
Yes.
So we literally did an entire set revolving around Improv Olympic and Sharna Helper.
Yeah.
And the people in the audience.
It was so meta.
Yeah.
People
in the audience that were actors, they loved it. The rest of the audience,
like,
not quite sure what they're talking about.
Who the fuck is Sharna Helper?
Yeah.
But everybody who were watching the show at this festival was screaming at the horror that was, and I know a lot of people love her.
Yeah.
We have a whole different thing going on with Help Her. I was never an IO person. We rented the space. We never used the space for free. We were the outsiders. But yeah, we did that whole thing, and people were loving it. And the majority of that festival obviously was improvisers, so people were screaming, laughing, and buying us drink, going, "Great set!"
Oh yeah, and I remember
me and Hans were just like,
I remember I was getting cruel because I knew Sharna from the beginning.
Yeah,
I knew where Improv Olympic came from.
Well, it should have
So
It
I was
shouldn't have
doing
been
all
Dell.
the inside stuff.
It shouldn't
regarding
have
that.
been Dell. It should have been he does stuff in New York because initially Sharna hooked her.
Shepard?
Huh?
Was it Shepard?
Yeah, I think it was Shepard. David Shepard. It was supposed to be Shepard, and Shepard was even too weird for Sharna. And then
That's right.
Dell,
That's right. Shepard was doing improv in his living room.
yeah,
He would invite people in and do improv in his living room in New York.
yeah, and then she switched to Dell. It was just like lifting up people with some major issues, problems, and concerns. And also talk about, again, IWB. One of the interviews when they first opened up IO, or Improv Olympics, was Sharna going, I've given Dell his own Jonestown. I don't know if you heard, seen, go and Google it. Just trying to help her in IO, Jonestown. I guess that's really funny when you want to start a cult, but when you, because Dell was all about, I mean, he was friends with the guy from the Church of Scientology. He wanted to have his own little cult of his own. But when Sharna said I created his very own Jonestown, it makes a black person's head spin because if you know about Jonestown, 900, 909, I believe, African Americans were killed at Jonestown drinking the Kool-Aid.
That would have been a lot closer time-wise to when that happened as well than now. I mean, saying it now,
Yeah.
maybe you could dismiss it as, oops. But then
No,
that was
it
real.
was absolutely intentional. It was absolutely intentional. And it's like, wow, that's really welcoming to people of color. And you don't know what to say. You don't know what to say. You know, when people go on about how great Sharna is and how great Dell was, one of the last, we sent Dell when he died. He basically was dying.
Dying for years.
He was dying for years. He was dying 20 years before he died. And we did not meet Dell in we owned a comic book store, and he did Wasteland, the comic book. And we met him Visa Kim Howard Johnson. Dell just walked in the store, track marks all up and down his arm.
Rope holding up his pants.
Rope holding up his pants. I'm like, I used to tell Susan, I'm like, if you love this motherfucker so much, why did you tell him to bathe? If y'all loved him this much, why didn't you point him to a shower? He came in and we met him that way, and he bought copies of his own book. And I'm like, Dell, why don't you just get it through DC? And he goes, well, Psychotronic Film Society gives me a better discount than DC. You're hacking up a lung, Dell. He died, and one of the last things he says, he was having a chocolate martini. He goes, I want to follow one of the great words of wisdom from a woman who was amazing, Leni Riefenstahl. Do you know who Leni Riefenstahl is?
I do not.
Do you know Triumph of the Will?
The book and the movie Triumph
of the Will was considered the greatest propaganda
by
movie
Adolf
ever made. It was about the Nuremberg rallies, 1934 in Nazi Germany.
And all Hitler all the time. And Leni Riefenstahl was the director of this. And she used to, by the end of her career, she was taking these amazing shots of African American bodies because she saw us as animals. That's one of the last things Dell said.
She's the adage for only the good die young. She lived to be 102 years old.
Yeah. So I have issues, problems, and help. These are the same people when we were doing Black History Month. Sharna made us go up the back stairs in February in the snow. One of the things I remember about Sharna and that whole IO scene, a whole different vibe. There were great things that came out of IO. I just really want to stress this. There were great people who did great things at a place that was built on a pile of crap.
Right. I mean, those people would have done it anywhere.
Exactly.
They weren't influenced by
Pat Shea dancers.
Olympics.
Pat and them would have done it someplace else. They would have gone to the Annoyance. You know, the reason why the Annoyance exists in Mick and Jen is get away from Sharna. Get away from Sharna now. My mom, we were doing our show upstairs February. A line, African Americans from the South Side was in front of IO on Clark Street. You don't see that too often. And in the snow and the cold, they made our audience wait outside in the cold and snow, wouldn't let them in.
Then they tried to steal them and
Then-
steal them into their main stage.
And yeah, then when they actually went in, Sharna told that poor box office woman, whoever is coming with, do not send them upstairs, send them to the main stage. We are upstairs wondering where our fucking audience is. Then I hear the screaming of my honorary mother, my mama. They tried to shoo into the main stage at IO. And I hear my mama downstairs. My mama is just, she was a little short Spitfire businesswoman. She wasn't taking this shit. I can hear her screaming, where's my damn daughter? Where is my, and the great thing about doing her voice is we sound the same. We sound exactly the same. So I hear my mama going, where's my daughter? Where is my goddamn daughter? Where is it? What the fuck is going on down here? And I'm like, oh my God, that's my mom. And I run downstairs from the Del Close space to the box office. I'm like, and it's now short, angry black cop and tall, large, good cop. I go, hi, what's going on here? And my mom, before I could even get it, is like, there are a bunch of black people in there. There's a bunch of black people in the main stage. They're sitting there. They're all sitting in the corner wondering why are all these white people on stage? Where the hell is your show, Shaun? And I'm just like, Mom, why'd you go on upstairs and I'll buy you a drink and then I'll talk this out and I'll get our audience. I said, my mama, and she's screaming on the way upstairs, goddamn white people, what the fuck is wrong with these motherfuckers? This is why did you move from the south side? I don't even understand, goddamn people. And she's upstairs, she's screaming her ass off. And I go up to the bike, I'm like, what's going on? And she goes, Sharna told me to go and tell your audience to go into the main stage. I said, you know that I'm upstairs, right? And as that falls out of my ear, and I just went, okay, I'm going to grab our audience. I said, please, if they even look like, a shade darker than Lena Horne, send them upstairs, please. So I go through the curtain of the main stage, as, the usual whizzing of margarita machine is working. And I see a crew of black people and they look at me. I'm like, and I'm like, come in. It's like war. It's like, it's like a military mission. It's like,
This way.
number one, come, eyes. Wait, pause, laugh, go when they're laughing. Okay, you, number two, go, run. Number three, run. Number four, run. And it's just like all these black people are fleeing the main stage to go upstairs and see our show. Cut to decades later, we're at IO Los Angeles. We moved from San Francisco to LA. And I was asked if I was going to teach. And they were like, oh, we'll just put you on a team. And I'm like, I really don't want to be on a team. I really don't want to be here. But if you want me to teach, that's great. And they were like, oh, we'd love to have you audition. And I'm like, okay. That never happened. When their festival was going on there, I ended up doing the marketing for their festival. I got them ABC, LA, NBC, LA. They had never gotten press. I got them Playboy. I got them on their podcast and also in the regular Playboy. And only thing I asked for pay, I said, you know what? All these marketing people all these Los Angeles people are going to be coming. The only thing I want as pay, because Sharna's going to freak out if she knows that I'm doing this. Only thing I need to look like a big shot. Just pay me in drinks. Give me a tab so I can bring people like the LA Times and all the other sources to the bar and go, hey, give me a drink, like I'm fancy, like I'm some kind of fancy asshole. I want to be a fancy asshole. Like, give me a tab. So the first tab we get, Hans buys himself tonic water. I get myself a glass of wine. I'm talking to somebody from the Times who isn't. I was doing a show called The Irish Mutts because I'm part Irish. And Glick, his name was Glick. He came to LA to go and see what was going on with Peng, and the person who was running the festival, BOC, he was like, oh, everything's going great. We made money on our opening. We had pizza. We made money. And then he looks at the picture of the wall of me and Kevin McShane, and says, and he knows who I am. He goes, "Who's that?" And he goes, "Oh, that's Shaun Landry. She's helping out with the festival. The only thing she's asking for is a tab." I get a call the next day from BOC and goes, "Are you sitting down?" And I'm like, "No, I like to stand up for her. What's going on?" And he goes, Sharna got a hold of me and she started screaming at everybody. Him, Eric Honeycutt, all of them at IOLA. "What is Shaun doing? Why did you they made $600 that opening night. According to Glick, I stole $600.
Yeah, your tab was $600.
My tab was $600. And I just went, I had a tonic water and a glass of wine. Last time I checked, Yellowtail was not $600. Last time I checked. And I'm like, and I just went, this is legend. This is some legend bullshit. I'm like, thank you for the story. Thank you for this amazing horror story of me. I'm like, now I'm just going to expand on it. I'm going to yes and this horror and say, yeah, I spent $600. And also, I brought in a bunch of 12-year-olds, Catholic boys, in a school bus and ended up doing a lap dance for all of them. That's what I did because I'm legend. I just went, it's unbelievable. Then cut to, and then on the last show, I get a call from one of the people from IO. Sharna had pulled her entire audience off the main stage to have this meeting. I think somebody mentioned this meeting in one of your podcasts, just to go and say, this is what we expect. I mean, and people who were selling out, Trophy Wife and all the regular guys who had moved from LA, who are on that stage, pulled them all off the stage during their fucking show.
Yeah, so they had nobody on.
They had nobody on. She was talking about quality control when there was nobody performing on their main stage. So me and Hans get a call.
Oh yeah, that's when we were living about 2 blocks.
We're living 2 blocks away
on
Hollywood Boulevard. And
we were having dinner, and they called us, go, "Can you come over and do a show?" So we literally went on their main stage and did a show.
We did a show. We were pulling people out of the bar.
And then we had literally, we said, well, we need to do a longer show. So we had some independent improvisers saying, why don't you guys do a set after ours? Just do a jam.
Yeah.
So we filled their main stage.
We filled their main stage with their professionally trained, doing great shows all the time, teams with a fuck around ensemble. With a fucker, I'm just like, I'm not even IO. And we're getting calls going, we're just the closest improvisers who know what they're doing. And I'm just like, and sure shit, I'm walking outside, and Hans has no couth, I have couth. We're walking outside. This was when it was still called the Dick Box. And they called their backstage.
Oh, the space upstairs then.
Yeah, space upstairs, the Andy Dick space. Because Andy gave money.
So he could get his kid in.
So he could get his kid in. And then, of course, he was a fuck up. And still is. It's not like he's dead. And Sharna walks out. And she's playing the game. She goes, "Oh, Shaun," because I had her in San Francisco. She actually did well in San Francisco when I asked her to teach. And she was like, "Oh, Shaun, I haven't seen you in a long time," and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "What are you doing here?" And Hans goes, "We're covering your ass." And I'm like, yeah, I guess. Okay, I gotta cry in the corner now. Bye. I'll get blamed for all of this. I know Hans can say whatever the fuck he wants. Okay, gotta go. Bye. Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So yeah, Sharna in the echelon of, I understand that she's done a lot of great things for people, for certain specific people. She was wonderful to Amy. She was wonderful to Tina. She was wonderful, in some ways to Steven. She was wonderful to people like Joe Bill and stuff like that. It all depends on what you're willing to listen to. I'll never get her they were doing the Thriller show with Jason Chen, God rest his soul. And Jason did so much work at IO. I mean, that's why we have Say Day, right? That's why we have Say Day. It's because of Jason Chen. And God love that man. He did so much goddamn work. When he died, She couldn't even get the gumption to give him a proper goodbye. She didn't even, I mean, they were already going through it at that point before the pandemic with Black Lives Matter and handsy people being handsy.
Hmm.
And I swear to God, just couldn't find the time to give a proper goodbye to someone who did so much. Oh, she had a big to do for Dell, but she couldn't do it for Jason. That's what irks me. I think you and everybody you've been talking to at IL and everybody who's been a part of Improv Olympics would have found your place no matter what. You would have found your place in improv no matter what. You would have been creating things earlier outside of podcasts and being at SAC
Oh, I mean,
and
talking
we will
about
all found our place.
you're talking about in the '80s. There, at one point, they clocked over 300 improv shows on the north side of Chicago. People were finding small theaters. They were finding back room to bars. They found their spaces to play.
Yeah, and some of them grew, some of them didn't, but that's the way of the world in theater. Some
Yeah.
theaters make it. Some, the Goodman Theater will always be. My God, the Goodman Theater is huge. We just went by there. I'm like, God, this has become a monolith. Like Second City has become a monolith. But we all find our place. Jen and Mick found their place. In the
Yeah.
heart of Boys Town. They found their place. We all find our places, and new places will spring up. We would have had a space sooner, but we just did not have the means, which is fine. We just found out we did stuff at theaters, and we rented spaces, and we became a thing.
And all those spaces are gone now.
Yeah,
Stage left.
Stage left is
Live
gone.
Bait.
Live Bait is gone.
Turnaround.
Turnaround Theater is gone.
What about Voltaire? Is that even?
Cafe
That's
Voltaire,
long gone.
long gone. That. Well, they had shitty food there.
Yeah, that's what
Oh
killed them.
man, what killed them was that shitty ass food. I'm like, how can you take vegan fare and make it that greasy?
Greasy, yeah.
I'm like,
Greasy
holy
vegan
fuck
food.
balls.
Their restaurant didn't last.
Oh, that didn't last. And that's the thing. The thing is, there's so many places that we were going. We did the cruise around all the areas we
Oh,
performed.
Sheffield's?
Sheffield's is gone. Actually, Barrett Hall is still open because it's a church. But yeah, all of them. The Ivanhoe is still there, but no one ever performed at the Ivanhoe because it was too expensive to rent. But Kiku's, which is now Parrots, is still open.
Yeah.
We all find that space until we can find something more permanent. And some of us do, and some of us don't. We play it. We play improvisation until most of it is by attrition. We get older. We're like a They Might Be Giants song. We're older than we've ever been, and now we're even older. And now we're older still. Everybody we're talking about, we're all in our, at least my generation, I was like this weird in between boomers, which is Hans, and millennials. I'm like, I just hit the boomers, boomed me out and made me Gen X. And I'm 60. And everybody who I'm talking about is either a little bit younger, like Amy,
Or they're dead.
or they're dead, yeah, or they're a little older, like Amy. I believe she just hit 50 something. Meanwhile, you're talking about Steven is roughly my age, Colbert's roughly my age, but then you have people like Sutton who are anywhere from 4 to 6 years. So I was in this weird space. But now we're all kind of the same once you get older. And when you get older in improvisation and you stick around, I will give it the joy of doing it now compared to when Hans was doing it. Everybody who he knew was balls crazy. I mean, balls nuts. I mean, like running around in vampire outfits at the University of Chicago.
Oh, you're talking about Severn Darden.
Yeah, Seven Darden and those guys. That whole generation. Mina Cole is normal.
Yeah.
But that crew.
Barbara Harris
Was nuts. Severin Darden was nuts. Dell was nuts. That whole crew, I'm like, y'all ain't aging well here. By the time we got into it, we want to have families. We want to have children. Will Herrera, who's out of Florida, Will is Improv Boston. He former IB, now Florida. I see him soon in Oslo. I love Will. his kids are, he just posted a picture of his kids in 7th and 10th grade, and his wife is lovely, and he's my bestie. People like Jill Bernard. Jill Bernard just gets wonderful and more sincere as she gets older. Hans and I have aged into just the old ornery couple who have been married since Valentine's Day of '91. It's our lives. It's our lives that are important. And then when we stop doing our lives for a minute, then we come and we do the wacky make 'em ups. We have lives. We don't want to be crazy like Seven Dart and run around in vampire outfits doing, heroin. We don't want this. I used to tell everybody at the pack when I was working there, when bullshit went down, I would say, I would like to remind you with your Guggenol theater, your splatter theater, I'm going to show my balls and my nuts and my butt improv wise and do all that bullshit. I'd like to remind you that me and Hans, we're your wine, and my crew, we're the wine drinking set. We're the ones who give your theater legitimacy. We bring in improvised rock and roll in the style of 80s Duran Duran. This is what we do. We're the ones who give you legitimacy. We're not here to go and destroy a theater. We're not here to act crazy. I'm not here to try to take somebody else's cut of their jib. I'm not here to do that. We do theater. We have fun because it's supposed to be fun. And then we take our asses home. And I cook a really nice steak meal, and I watch Murder, Death, Kill on on the ID channel. I want to be we own shit now. We now have a fucking mortgage that, by the way, we're going to pay off in 2 years. Fuck this whole 50-30 year arm bullshit. No, this apartment, I'm sorry, condo will be ours in 2 years, with an HOA of $300. This is where my head's at right now. And then every once in a while, I pack a ton of stuff and I go off and I go and do Vermont Avenue with Hans. It is a parody of Sunset Boulevard with Edith Head dress and all. Because I got that in Santa Monica. I'm like, this is an Edith Head dress. Oh my fucking God. I'm going to upsize this. I totally upsized that Edith. I'm like, fuck you. This is Edith Head. I'm like, no, it's the big skirt thing with the mesh. I'm like, yeah, I'm upsizing this bullshit. I'm getting extra padding. Where's the velvet? This is where I am now. Back in my 20s and 30s, it was having fun at festivals and collecting T-shirts and meeting people, and now we're older. And the attrition of improv is age. Because every once in a while it's like, no, I don't want to do this at 10 o'clock. I want to be home. I want to have my own glass of wine and not pay $20 for a glass of wine.
Yeah.
God bless you. It is for the young. But the thing is, for us who are older, we sure have a good time when we're around you.
I think what I'm hearing somewhat is it's not so much aging out as tapping out.
Yeah, it is. It's age tap. It's like, I'm 62, tap. and then when you get tired of being around your adult kids who are going to college, tap it back in. Tap in. I need to get out of the house. I just need to remember what this was. And it's great because there's a lot of different improv that's out there that is for people who are in our 60s now. I mean, we did the Seniors Improv Comedy. There is the Improv Festival where there are people who are older. I love the pictures because everyone looks old and exhausted sitting down and drinking beer. It's just like, oh, it's the same shit, but we're not drinking as much because, our liver is going to, we can't take our pills with this Bud Light. we can't take our multiple sclerosis pills, which, by the way, that's the show I'm doing in Oslo. It's called The Good MS. I have multiple sclerosis. The shit that gets to you. I've had it since 2009. Every once in a while I break out in hives, my legs go out, and it sucks. I have high blood pressure. I take blood pressure pills, and I just wait, water, blood pressure pills, water, wine.
It sounds like a kid's book.
Yeah, water, wine, pills. Uh,
That just reminds me.
that's also adjacent to my new children's book. Shut up and listen to me.
That just reminds me of the George Foreman quote when George had made his comeback in boxing, and he goes, "People are gonna smell Bengay for miles around."
That's right. I fell down. Literally, I turned 60 August 3rd. I turned 60. We go to Giordano's Pizza. I swear to God, we go to Gio's because I'm like, I haven't had real deep dish in about, fresh and at a restaurant in about, 25 years. That's when we left Chicago. So we go to Gio's. I thought I left my battery in our car that was transported from LA to here. And I walk out of our place that Jonathan Pitts saw before I did. And I'm just like, Pitts? And I walk outside. I do the old person trip. I trip on a little tiny step. And I'm 5'9", and I hear my mind go, Timber! And I fell on my ankle, landed on my knee, and rolled over onto the side. And I'm looking up in front of my place in Rogers Park. And I'm looking up at the sky, and I swear to God, I said, I've fallen and I can't get up. And then I looked at the sky and I went, it's a really nice day. And I just went, it's a really nice day. And I am there. It's the first day since we've been living here where nobody's walking in front of our place. There's no cars going by. And I'm laying here and I'm like, oh, this is the day nobody's around. So I'm calling for Hans. He can't hear me. I'm now just going, help, help. And the woman who lives in the basement, I'm sorry, her condo, garden apartment, garden condo, basement, goes, it's like, there's some crazy ass woman out in front of our place. I'm just like, fuck. And then finally I just went, okay, I'm an improviser. I'm going to improvise my ass up. I'm going to get up. I don't care how much pain I'm in. This is a performance piece now. I'm getting up. I'm getting up. I got up. My knee is all like boo-boo child scratched. My ankle's a little bit twisty, but I'm like, fuck it. I go to the car. I limp across. I go and look in the car. The battery is not there. I limp across the street. Now I'm ringing the door madly for help. Hans comes downstairs. I throw the car keys at Hans. I'm like, fuck this. Happy birthday to me. Finally, the gnome basement garden people, she was like, I heard you outside. Are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not. I got a boo-boo on my knee. And it hurts. And it's a child boo-boo, 16 and I'm old. Today's my birthday. Fuck it. That was my birthday. And here's the thing. I will probably tell that story, a shorter, more concise version, at some point when I do my next Armando. Because it's a life story. It's a life story. I hate when people do Armando and they're telling other people's stories when they're not telling your own because you don't have any life stories. You see how I tied all this in to make sense? Life stories into itself. If you don't have them, then you're not living your fullest or your worst. You tell all the good stories. You tell all the bad stories. That's why I love this podcast. We've told good and bad stories.
I do have my. Do you want to go through the questions?
Yes, please. He has a question.
Oh, he has questions.
He has like inside the actor studio questions.
Oh, okay.
So let's do that.
Before that, I just want to say that we've been watching some of the random documentaries. So we just watched the Paul Rubens documentary not too long ago.
I love that documentary. It's beautiful.
Yes, I agree, and fascinating and informative. And there's so much about that's even just I learned so much about Paul, but also about groundlings and things going on, and then you go and you research other things. But everything that you're saying about your journey as like, this is the documentary I want to watch next, is seeing there's so much.
The name of the documentary should be Who the Fuck is Shaun Landry?
But I mean, there's so being there. I was in Chicago for 5 or 6 years. Was my tenure when we were there, and at IO in Second City and whatever. And you hear all this kind of stuff, and you get stories, you get these experiences, and that informs things. And then, and then IO West closed, and you hear stuff about IO West that you're only hearing just kind of through the grapevine. And that
Right.
there's this bigger tapestry,
Right.
and you get little bits of it. And we just went to see a friend. We drove back to the city the other day to see a friend at IO. And we got there when IO was still on Clark Street, but the move happened when we
Yeah.
were there. So we got to experience both theaters.
Yeah, and here's the thing: they had a space before that too. We used to
Yeah.
joke around about IO, which is, walk down North Avenue, you'll find IO eventually.
Yeah, I mean that was the early joke with them. It's like people would go, "I'm doing a show at Improv Olympic," and they go,
Like,
"Where are you this week?"
Where are you this week?
Because they used to be at different bars, and Sharna would piss off the owners, and they get thrown up.
Yeah, and then they finally found that space on Clark, that was owned by family, I believe.
Yeah, one of her relatives bought it.
Yeah, one of the relatives bought it. So what a downer when you get kicked out by your own family.
Well, and then it's also the legend of Dell, and which I've always been squinty-eyed listening to those glorious stories and all that. So your perspective brings so much more great new information to that whole thing.
Yeah.
And the story of improv in Chicago and
It's a perspective of both with Hans and I, but specifically me, just from it's a glass bubble that's improv in it, and there's a little thing of me tapping on the glass, tapping on, may I come in, and everyone, and then breaking through that glass, or there's just enough of a space of transparency where you can glide through, and then you can play, but you're playing on rules that you're not used to in your culture, but you don't want to change who you are as a culturally, at least not as who I am, because someone else said it on your podcast. Everybody comes in different. Fucking, you can't say you do you or just be you, because me is a complicated mess of awesome. So you don't know what the fuck coming. But the thing is, I get judged by what I look like and what is expected from my culture. Because, Lord, where you at? They totally expect me to be up in here. Oh, child, yeah, Lord have mercy. I always got to be like this. You know what I'm saying? Dropping my G's and shit like that. You come with an expectation. So it's me from the outside looking in, breaking my way into this bubble called improvisation. And when you're in the bubble and you're just doing the good work and you hear the laughter, and that in African American culture, it's all about respect. It's really about respect. Respect what we're doing. Respect it. And when you respect me as just doing the thing that you're doing too, all is good. The world is good. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Does that every once in a while I say things that almost sound wise and sage and with meaning. Meaning. See, another thing. Black women watching Rocky Horror Picture Show. Who knew?
Should I tell my story how I got into improv?
Well, let him ask the questions.
Okay.
Well, wasn't that Murray who told you to get into improv?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Joel?
You want to hear that story?
Sure.
Yeah, it's Joel Murray that got him into improv.
Yeah, literally, I was doing sketch when I was in college. And I played the system, so I was able to have the college finance me. They gave me an office, and I formed a comedy club. So they gave me funding, and then I was also booking my sketch group to play other colleges. And at one point, I was making extra money by doing radio commercials, and then a lot of people started hiring me. I was in broadcasting. A lot of people started hiring me to do their productions for their classes. So they pay me, and so on. And then my advisor, the last year, the advisor goes, I suggest that you become a performer. Oh, thank you. I went through all these years of broadcasting, and I should be a performer. And then he goes, who's in town over at this house is Joel Murray, Bill Murray's brother. You should go talk to him. So I went over there. I introduced myself, and I was talking to Joel. And Joel goes, oh, yeah, we can get you set up with Second City. He goes, make an appointment with Joyce Sloan. So when I got back out of college and got back to town, I called up, and I made an appointment with Joyce Sloan. And she was really sweet, really nice, and she was talking to me. And then Ultimately, about, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes into the conversation, she goes, "Why are you here?" And I said, "Oh, well, Joel suggested I should come talk to you." And she had this quizzical look on her face. She goes, Joel. Oh, Billy's little brother.
Yeah.
She goes, "Tell you what, the best thing is I'll send you over to Josephine Forestberg, and you can start training over at the Players Workshop in the Second City." And that's literally how I got into improv, just by accident.
Yeah.
And then being with Joe was great, because she would actually get me like movies and commercials. She would just call me in her office and go,
Hey, you want to be in a movie?
You need to go down to the set tomorrow. You got a part in this movie. Okay.
So yeah, your road in was great. I mean, me on the other hand, when it came to movies and stuff, it's like milk. Actually, no, the improv thing that got me a movie
Your first movie was the festival.
was the festival, and I ended up getting the San Francisco Improv Festival. I was on the front page of the Guardian, and
Full face.
yeah, and this guy calls me. Everyone had given me so much shit at Bats for being the front page of improv in San Francisco. And I didn't want this. I literally didn't want it, because I was like, to the Guardian, I was like, oh yeah, we can get everybody, on the front page, and then take our heads out as cutouts and then go, this is Bats, this is this group, this is this group. They were like, no, we just want you. I'm like, ah, shit, here we go. My life is about to turn to hell. And that article came out, and I was walking down Market Street, and I saw a homeless person sleeping on my face, and I'm like, I did it. I did this. I did this to myself.
Yeah, Zagoni called you and said,
Robert Zagoni. Let me tell my own story, darling.
All right.
Robert Zagoni calls me up the following day. I thought it was Sam Shaw, who helped me create the San Francisco Improv Festival, giving me shit. And it was like, he goes like, "Hi, my name is Robert Zagoni. I saw you on the front cover of The Guardian. I love your face. You have a beautiful smile. Would you like to be in a movie?" And the first thing I said to him, literally I said, "Who the fuck is this?" I literally said that to Bob. I'm like, "Who the fuck is this?" And he was like, no, I'm real, and I really want you to be in this movie. And then I'm like, my mind, oh, great, stalker, just fucking great. And I was like, he goes, "I want to meet you." When he said, "I want to meet you," I'm like, "This stalker, crazy." And I'm like, okay, let's meet. The most neutral place ever was called the Brainwash. This is the aughts, 2000s. This is where you could go and do your laundry.
Yeah. Restaurant in front.
Laundry and back. You could do poetry and look for a job in San Francisco. And I'm like, let's meet at the Brainwash. And I got there early, and I literally had escape hatches out. Like, Hans was going to call me, 15 minutes in, because we lived around the corner from the Brain. I'm like, it's something. I'm calling, just make sure that this guy is not like, a San Francisco mass murderer. I'm like, I don't trust this. I get there early to go, and he's like 15 minutes behind me, so he's early. He gives me the script. Then he shows me everybody who's going to be in it. And he was like, "Yeah, Danny Glover's going to do it. No, yeah, Karen Black's going to do it." And I'm like, uh-huh, mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, let me go and take a look at, I'm being so fucking cool. I'm being like, I'm trying to be like LA cool. Not even Chicago cool.
Yeah, let me see the script.
Let me read the script, and I'll get back to you. I'm doing that bullshit. And he leaves. I'm looking at the script, and I know Danny lives in San Francisco. He has a place in Berkeley, and everything's going to be shot in Berkeley, and they're flying people in from LA, and it's a major fucking role. And at one point she goes, "Oh yeah, Karen Black wanted to go and play all the characters, all the female characters." I'm like, "Yeah, of course, because Trilogy of Terror, she played all the characters there." And he walks out from the Brainwash. I walk out and look down the way to make sure he's far the fuck enough away, and there's like a shit ton of theater actors at the Brain. I turn around and I go, "Holy shit, I'm in a movie." Holy shit. And everyone was like, "Hooray." And they were like, "Did you audition?" I'm like, "I think that was my audition." And I just went, "Oh my God, the Brainwash is my new Schwab's." I'm like, holy fuck, I'm in a movie. So I waited like 3 hours, and then I called him and said, yes, I read the script. I read like 4 pages. I'm just like, fuck this, I'm in. And he was like, oh yeah, are you SAG? And I'm like, I'm SAG eligible after all the bullshit I've done in Chicago. And they were like, yeah, you need to turn SAG. And I'm like, okay, sure, why not? That's a story in of itself. And I went SAG, and there's Danny Glover on set. And I'm just like, are you fucking shitting me? Are you just fucking, you're fucking Danny mother. I feel like, you build fucking Moe. You build motherfucking Moe. I feel like that. You Danny motherfucking Glover. I'm just like, holy. And he brought it, the reading, he ended up bringing his kid. And he looks at me, he said to me during the reading, he goes, so I understand you do improv. He goes, I saw the front cover. And I'm like, thank you. He goes, really nice picture of you. And I'm like, you're Danny motherfucking Glover. I'm nobody. And Karen Black ended up slapping me. And I'm just like, bitch, cut your nails. Oh my God, Trilogy and Terra Tiki doll just scratched my arm. I'm just like, this is some old ass shit. But yeah, those were the best of days. I mean, literally, our first couple of years in San Francisco in California was just insane. By the end, what was the one word that you had about living in Los Angeles that you told me when we got here? If you had to explain all of LA,
All of LA, the years we lived there, pretentious. Everybody wants something from you.
everybody wants something, and it's when the improv is no longer fun. When you're like, hey, let's go and do a show, and it's kind of like, well, I got to be on set at Warner's, and I'm doing something. Oh, I can't.
Well, and then
Oh, I can't get away because I carry around a dinosaur and pretend it's real at Universal.
well, then the real audiences don't come out unless there's a celebrity
Unless
guest in the show.
which is really frustrating to me. And I never had a problem doing marketing anywhere except for Los Angeles, because I mean, unless you're dropping something like the Elysian Theater, everybody's dropping names. Everyone is, just come and see this improv show because somebody who is on an HBO show who just got seen is doing the show, or the girl who was in Star Wars who did shows with their all Asian
Oh yeah,
female
she has
ensemble.
stalkers.
She had stalkers who literally was signing up for the ledge to go and see her, and it's like, I can't do this show. This guy's been stalking me. Welcome to LA.
Ugh.
Well, but everybody wants that. LA is full of money. In the years of doing improv, and I've gotten paid well in improvisation. One McDonald's commercial I did, one, and I didn't say a word. I just wore sunglasses and looked mean for an Oscar McDonald's. Paid me more than anything I ever got paid for in improv comedy.
Oh no, your best was that print ad that never
And
got
the print ad
for Eli Lilly.
for Eli Lilly. They're under investigation right now and being sued for Ozempic, which was the thing that I did. Never seen. Just, we're going to give you $30,000.
And then they renewed you for a second year.
And they
Still didn't use
renewed
it.
and still didn't use it, and I didn't care because I got another $30,000. It's insane money out there. It's insane money. And that's what makes, and they're always looking for people who can improvise. And now every actor and their mama who has never improvised, who thought this is a lame ass,
Yeah.
skill set, now has improv. Back in the
Or
day,
at least they claim.
they claim it, and back in the day, everybody was like, oh, you can't put improv on your resume. You can't, as a professional actor, don't put improv on your resume. You'll look unprofessional. Now, literally, it's a whole segment of the improv that you've done. And generally it's made up shit that they make up, and you get into an audition with people where they ask you to improvise with them and they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it. That's why I worked as much as I did, because what you do in improv when somebody wishes to bulldoze, as you're doing right now with me talking, you just stay quiet and you listen until you can get something in.
Huh. Physical always supersedes verbal.
And the smartest words. Sometimes it's nothing but a look. Sometimes it's just my favorite go to is this. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Sure.
It's the Jack Benny philosophy.
It's the Jack Benny. Just mm-hmm. Sure.
Someone was just telling me about it was I'm gonna forget his name. He was the janitor on Scrubs
Yes.
in a show at, I think it must have been IO, and it
I will
started.
remember his name in a minute because he was also in Beer Shark Mice.
Yes. And they said a scene started, and whoever's scene partner was someone who tended to bulldoze and spoke for like 10 minutes straight, to him as he's doing whatever he's doing object work wise. And then the lull finally came, and he just looked at him and said, and then what?
And I will remember his name and God, he's funny. Big, tall, lanky, awesome human being.
Yes.
But yeah, that's how you do it. You know, that's why it's easy for me to play with brand new people because it's either they'll be really scared and they'll hang on the back line. You yank them out and you let them talk. You give them something to go. You can literally just say, "So what's going on?" And then you just start a conversation. React, respond. $500. Or you get the go-go gadget, who started off doing, Wednesday nights at the Chuckle Factory doing stand-up, and you can't get them to shut up.
Or they'll start off with something funny and then burn out.
And then burn
no
out.
Ideas.
You burn out your thought because I got this great funny line I'm going to come in with, and then they don't know where to go from there. Or as Marty DeMott would say, "Yeah, what are you going to improvise about now?" So yeah,
here we are in Spain.
And here we are in Spain. Yeah.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. Thank you.
That was that was Kazurinsky and
Kazurinsky and
They
Wynn.
used to pull that all the time.
Because George hated to improvise.
And they never wanted to do scenes. They would just do blackouts. And they always come out there. It's like, here we are in Spain. And they'd go, no, we're not. Thank you. And the lights would go on.
Yeah.
Well, after a while, the light person got so fed up with that, they left
the lights on.
So they had to come back out there and do a scene.
Well, one of my favorite moments with George was at the Improv Festival. He was just hosting the IO Festival. And we were in the back because they set up a bar in the back where everybody was performing. And George is sitting in the back, and I'm like, hey, man. And he was like, hey, girl. And he goes, because I opened the door for him when he was going through. And he goes, you don't have to be my servant. You don't have to open the door for me. And I'm like, no, you're a rock star, man. And he goes, thank you. And I said, so you improvising tonight? He goes, fuck no. He goes, I don't do that. I'm like, and I just went, hold up, George. You mean to tell me you made your life off of improv and you don't improvise? He goes, I hated it when I was at Second City. And I'm just like, get the fuck out of Dodge. And he goes, nope. I said, if it was just us two, would you do it? And he went, nope. I'm like, fuck, man, that's rude. And he goes, you seem like a great person and you're probably fun to talk to, but no, I don't improvise. I just host. He goes, if it was up to me, I'd just do the intros and outros at Second City. But he got on Cheers because he's an actor. He's an actor, and every once in a while, he say funny things. And that's what he did. And God rest his soul, nicest man in the world.
And also the dirtiest.
And dirty, yeah, because he did a documentary.
I did a documentary on improv in '85, and it happened to coincide with Second City's 25th. And because they had all trained with Josephine, I had full reign of anybody. I would just tell Joe, I want to talk to so-and-so. Okay, he'll be there, she'll be there, and you can talk to them and do an interview. And one of the people I talked to was George Wendt. I couldn't use a single word he said.
Because he swore like a fucking sailor.
He swore like a sailor through the whole interview.
But you got some really good stuff out of Tim
Kazurinsky and Joe Flaherty. Betty Thomas.
But yeah, me and Timmy talk about people who shouldn't be talking about other people. Harold. I came back from my grandma's funeral, and Tim Kazurinsky, me and Hans, I was a part of Second City Children's. I saw his son at IO, all grown up, because I did a show for his son. And meanwhile, Hans interviewed him. He kept asking, "Oh, hey, how's Hans?" And I'm like, "Oh, he's doing great, and just he's a really nice man. He lives, I think
Yeah,
he
he
still lives."
lived here. He literally invited me into his home to do the interview.
Yeah, he invited to his home, and he talked about children's show about him playing Perry the Peacock. And he'd come out in this big fucking Perry the Peacock. He'd come out and go, "Hi, I'm Perry the Peacock." And some kid in the front row was
turns to his friend and goes,
bag. I'm just like, wow, kids of the 80s. But basically with Tim, when I came back, he asked me how Hans was doing. He goes, "You want to see something creepy?" He walks me over. This is on the Clark Street page. He goes, "There he is." I'm like, wow, Dell is now an ornament in this fucking theater. They had his ashes in there. And he goes, "What are you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm back from my ground." He goes, "You mean you came back?" Because he knew we were in San Francisco. He goes, "You came back to San Francisco?" I'm like, that's what we do." I'm like, if you know my family, you come back to say goodbye before you do the wake and the pass and the repass and the double bypass. Oh, Baptists. And you come back. You come back in respect. So I'm sitting at the bar, and he is Armando. And he gets out on stage. He goes, "Hi, I'm Armando Diaz." The classic. And he goes, "Give me a name, a title of a song." And somebody screamed out, "All You Need Is Love." And Tim Kazurinsky goes, "I have a really good friend here from San Francisco who's come back to say goodbye to her grandma." And there were mostly improvisers there who knew me and why I was back in Chicago. And every head turned to look at me. And I only thing I'd do was just cover my face, my mouth, like, oh my fucking God. He is doing his Armando about my grandma. And I'm like a Motown song, "You Only Cry in the Rain." I'm being stoic. And he was like, "That's what you call love." He ended it, and that's what you call love. And then they did this amazing, fucking gorgeous, funny, and kind Armando. And they had their intermission, like, "We're taking a break. We're going to come back and, do some more stuff." And Tim Kazurinsky walked up to me, and he goes, just like us older improvisers are so neurotic. And they're like, "How did I do? Was that okay?" I literally say it after every show. I was like, "Was that okay?" He walked up to me, he goes, "Was that okay?" And I was like, "It was beautiful, Tim. I'm going to go outside and have a cigarette. I'll be right back." So I walked down the stairs because it was up in the Dell space. I walked down the stairs. I went around the corner in that alley. I had a cigarette and I sobbed like a child by myself. I'm like, it was the most beautiful. It was the most beautiful Armando I've ever seen. And I wish they had a video camera because I would have played it at my grandma's funeral. I'm like, this is from Tim Kazurinsky. I don't know if you remember him, but he was on Saturday Night Live. That's what improv can do. It can be meaningful. It can be hilarious. It can be sweet and kind. I think that's why I've stuck around through all the bullshit of it.
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm sticking in there till death do you part. Am I right, Hans?
We'll be like Moliere. We'll die on stage.
We'll die on stage. We'll die like, "Give me a suggestion. Heart attack. 1 minute. Oh, die on stage." All right, now ask these awesome Inside Actor Studio questions.
Sure. Okay. All right. Obviously, for both of you, how do you get into the proper headspace to play?
I know a lot of people will go and find, like, a quiet space to go and warm up. I warm up for myself of just finding before a show, any show. I find a place to shadow box. Just shadow box against the wall. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. And shadow box with myself. Basically, it gets my heartbeat going up. So it beats and pumps. And then I cool down just a little bit. Then I find Hans. And Hans, basically how people will do zip, zap, zop and the whole 9 yards. Here's when we go, "Hey, Hans, zip."
Yeah.
And then we go on stage.
And all I think of mentally before I go on stage, okay, here's round one.
Round
And I
one.
just walk on stage.
Here's round one. for me, it's, just centering myself. Also, to get myself in headspace before I even get to the theater, I get into the shower and I listen to music. I listen to music, and specifically comedy music. My favorite song, because I'm a little punk rock, just a little around the edges. Comedy punk rock is Gilda. If You Look Close and Give Me Mick is a song that she sings off of her Live from New York album. And it's a great song. If you look close, you can see my tits. Cause I want you to, but don't want you to know that I do. If you look close, you can see my tits. Cause I want you to, but don't want you to know I do. I love this song. I am dirty. I don't care. I never wash my hair. I'm immoral and a pig. And I'm making it real big. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I do? You know what I do? You know? Do you know? Do you know? Do ya? Do ya? It's like a Meisner song for punk rock, and it's a hilarious song. And Paul Schaefer and all those guys play in the back, and I warm myself up to that. I just get into a fun space. I get into a fun space. I'm gonna have fun tonight. This is gonna be fun, isn't it? And that's my headspace. And I'm gonna play until I can't anymore. And I'm gonna listen to everybody and say yes and or
Or
no
you listen to people.
or try to.
Oh.
I heard that, didn't I? And even with Hans, lately, because it's the two of us doing a duo, I will always walk up to him before a show and hold his hand and kiss him because I love him. Now let's rock the fuck out of this. That's how I get. As you get older, even if I ask to people ask me to play with them. One of the last things I did with Jonathan Pitts, and this was in Virginia. We all just got into a circle, and I'm like, man, are we gonna do this? Yeah, we're gonna do this. I said, are we gonna do this? We're gonna do this. I said, are we gonna do this? We gonna do this. Yeah, we are. Let's do this. That's the only warm up I need.
And since I'm mentally ill,
Yeah, you're absolutely bonky.
I'm the same off stage as on stage, so I don't need to warm up at all. I just walk.
Yeah, everything is. Life is one big stage.
That's right.
And you miss your
exactly.
And you miss your fucking cue on stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how we warm up. Yeah.
I think this one you may have already answered to some extent, but what is your favorite way to elicit a suggestion from the audience? What's your favorite get for?
I like to go to the person directly. No raising of hands, no screaming of that bullshit. No, I'm like, okay. I will ask them a question.
Yeah.
I will.
That gives you a category as the
Yeah. So our latest get is something you would never think you would like in a relationship, because we do our duo. Most of our stuff is relationship based, so it's always funny to go and see something. Then I beat scat out something of how great that is, even though it isn't, and then we run from there. But I don't like just some random.
Oh yeah, give me a word.
Give me a word. Give me a give me a word. Fuck you. Thank you.
That's 2 words. Sorry.
That's 2 words. Okay, bye. Okay, no, it's not a hashtag. You need to. But yeah, I like going up to someone and saying, "Hi, my name is Shaun, and this is Hans. May I get a suggestion from you? Give me something that you think you would never like in a relationship." Now, if that person gets stuck and they feel on the spot, they'll go, "Oh," I'm like, "Oh no, anything at all. I mean, what?" I say, "Your last relationship." Then we have a combo. Then we have a conversation. So tell me, I'm like, "Are you married? Are you with anybody?" I mean, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. And they're like, "Oh no," and then we become friends that way. You become friends with your audience, so they open up more, so you can get the best suggestion. And even if they give you a crappy one, you can still expound on it. So something you think you'd never like in a relationship: masturbation. Really? Really? Why is that? And then you go and then you tell me why. I'm like, do you think it's a sin? How does that work for you? I'm like, I find it enjoyable. Oh, what about you? So it's that kind of interaction back and forth. It might be rude and raunchy, but if they're saying masturbation, who gives a shit anymore? All bets are off. All bets are off, and we're gonna go with it, and we're gonna make it smarter than an ashtray. So that's how we go about getting those suggestions.
And so my follow-up for that, and I think you have actually already answered this, because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, my guess is that you dig a little deeper, because the next question is, what's your favorite way to burn a suggestion that doesn't inspire you?
We don't burn it.
We don't burn them at all.
Yeah.
We don't worry. We keep it a flame, but we add the good flame on top of it. So, if it's some fucked up, albatross.
Well, if it's fluff,
Yeah.
we'll plug it into scenes we're creating. So they go, oh, yeah, there's the suggestion.
Yeah. So, if someone screams out something, weak, like, an animal, that sounds funny, aardvark, that kind of thing. Aardvark. It's like, what do you like about aardvarks? Is it their beak? Is it their nose? Is it how it used to be a cartoon character? Oh, I'm going on to the aardvark. What draws you to the aardvark? Jackie Mason. I'm an aardvark. Here we go. What draws you to the aardvark? And it'll always get a laugh, especially when you take it extremely serious. It's like, so tell me. So when you think of cunnilingus, what do you think of? So when you think of toe jam, do you think that is it sexy? Do you use it for anything?
It's a product you can get your grocery store?
Exactly. Ridiculous, insanity, ridiculous, always body functions, boogers. So, do you have children? Do they like talking about their boogers? Tell me about your kids. And so you're still taking the suggestion, but then you're layering it on with extra. So now you're talking, so maybe the next scene is just a kid who grows up just not caring about what happens when he's in a office, and he's digging up his nose.
Or he has a nose fetish.
Or something where, it's something to that effect, or something to that effect that's relationship based or something, but it's adding just a little bit on. And then you're talking about the why. There's the who, what, and where, but then there's the why. Why are you so into toe jam goods? What's wrong with washing your feet? That kind of thing. Or, something, or a fetish with anything, or just talking about, just a regular conversation, or having, something that's weird about your body that you don't feel comfortable with. Everything can be made into gold.
Yeah.
Every piece of shit can be turned into gold.
So long as it gets covered with that lava first.
Exactly. Exactly. Or,
was that a callback?
Yes, it was. He called that back. You see, he brought that back.
Oh. He must know improv.
Yeah, he must. I think that's why he's doing an improv podcast. He might have been around the road a bit. But yeah, when you get shit, make it lemonade.
When you get shit, make lemonade.
When you get lemons,
make
lemonade. When you get lemons, make lemonade.
You get shit, you can't make lemonade.
You could.
You can make shit-aid.
You can't make Okay, that's funny. But when you get lemons, you make it into lemonade. Sometimes you just go. Some people go, if you get lemons, fuck those lemons, throw them out, and make yourself some orange soda. That's the throwaway. It's like, if you get lemons, fuck it. Make it into lemonade and then add some spritzer to it. That's how we do it. We add spritzers to our lemons.
When you are looking for, or when you're scanning the audience and you're figuring out the person that you want to communicate with there initially, what do you look for in
a human being?
Yeah, to make that choice.
Someone who is either way in the fucking back
or breathing.
Him is breathing, but if I'm getting the get, I will either look way in the back and point randomly. Even if I can't see it, I'll point to them. I'm like, hey, how you doing? What's your name? And then somebody will think I'm pointing to them and they'll say their name. And I'm like, great, perfect. Or if I can see in the front, I will usually ask somebody who is holding themselves in, with their arms, they've closed them, their body language has closed themselves in because something is making them feel uncomfortable. and unhappy, if they're all closed in and they're generally, I will generally pick the person who is not smiling because they're the ones who probably need the most love. They're probably ones who need the most attention and love in that moment in time and space. So I'm like, I will always go, hey, how you doing? My name is Shaun. What's yours? And they'll go, Nancy. I'm like, hey, Nancy, how you doing? My name is Shaun. And this is my husband, Hans. And this is, I would generally do it with Weeby Negroes. I'm like, and then if all depending on their body language, I might change the suggestion. I'll go, what makes you the happiest? What's the thing that makes you happy? And then they'll go, well, playing darts. I'm like, hey, I like playing darts too. I'm like, what board do you usually play on? And then I expand. So now they're engaged, and now they feel like they're a part of the ensemble and now a part of the audience. And the audience gets to take a look at this person. So at the end of the show, and we are funny or what have you, at the end of the show, they're now the focus because we're backstage going, oh, we could have done this, and oh, we could have done that, and oh, whoop de doo, and just pretend like we did a great show. And it's always thank you. Never say that show sucked. It's just say thank you. You know, we're doing all that bullshit behind stage. But that person out in the front, someone will go, that was a great suggestion, or that was really awesome what you did.
Yeah, they might make a new friend.
They might make a new friend. And audience being audience friends, and we met. Oh, what else are you into darts? Oh, so am I. So it's giving not only us the suggestion of doing something wonderful right away, it's giving them, that one person who's closed in, the opportunity to open up a little bit and turn to another audience member and literally sometimes in their mind go, I did that. I created the show. I created this show.
My show.
It's my show now. I'm the director. I created this show. Those people are always on the side, always raising their hand and asking their friend to go and do the suggestion. Those assholes can fuck themselves. You so want to be on stage. You so want to be the center of attention. No, I'm quite sure you get it all the goddamn time, all the time. No, not today, Satan. Nope, not in this show. You can go and do that at the Chuckle Factory, making fun of whoever is on stage. Nope, not today. I'm ignoring you. I'm always ignore the loudest. I always ignore the loudest.
I'm assuming based on that answer and also some other themes I think that I'm drawing from what you've been talking about, that like me, you believe that theater can change people.
I am absolutely positive of it. This is somebody who's done drama therapy for 2 years, and this is someone who was part of playback. Yes. Yes.
Dramatic improv, playback.
Yes, very much so. Very much so, because most of the people even on stage are not improvisers. Some of the best playbacks, like in New York and when they had it in Chicago, some of us were improvisers who were professional actors. Others were actual therapists. Actual therapists to go and talk. My mom had Alzheimer's, and when I started doing it, it was to try to jar some memory. And even if they were false memories, just the good ones so we could play them back so they can have something to hold on to. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that a motivating factor for theater for you, or did you happen upon that accidentally, or does that drive you?
It drives me because because most people who start in improv, it's like, oh yeah, I found a class and it was awesome. And then I came to a show and it was awesome. Not me. For me, it was like, I want to do theater. And improv found a little bit of both, but it came part and parcel to being a theater person and actor. So my whole beginnings was starting off in dramatic, in drama therapy. I mean, when you're doing improv games with Richard Speck, it changes your whole perspective.
Because he always keeps going to nurses.
Yeah, I know.
Suggestion is always nurses.
It's always like nurse. Like Manson is like, I hate the monkeys.
Yeah, Beach Boys.
Beach Boys. So yeah, my perspective is very different. Where it can change a person's perspective. Sometimes it can be dangerous when done wrong. It can be extraordinarily dangerous. 2 words, Bill Cosby. 2 words, Bill Cosby. That piece of shit can suck the suck the corn out of my ass. He so fucked it up with his rapey, horrible bullshit, and using improv to do it, and doing improv games to be handsy to other women of color and numerous other women. When done wrong, it's dangerous. When done wrong, it's dangerous. In the right hands, it's wonderful and it can change people. We used to call it zero state in Geese Company, where you take an inmate and you get them down to their raw basic zero state, and then you build with improv games back up. I learned this was what we used to do in the 80s. That was dangerous because you don't know where you're going when you strip people down to a zero state. You don't know what you're going to get. And building back up, you might be making a better sociopath because it's like Dexter. Dexter was the ultimate in improv sociopath. That character. He knew how to play the game of being social, but in his spare time, he killed people. It can be extremely dangerous, and you have to go and be licensed to do it. You have to be licensed to do it. If you're an improviser doing it, you need to be with a licensed therapist. Somebody, I used to say in improv classes, I'm like, I am not your therapist. I am just a really good actor who knows how to teach improvisational theater. I cannot change you, but I know I can make you a better actor and a better improviser. And if some of it rubs off on being a better person and being kinder to somebody and being joyous with somebody, then that's the icing. That's the icing on top. One of my last prison gigs, they asked me to come in and do improv with a bunch of teens at a juvenile detention center. And at the end of it all, I said, I can't do this. I said, I can't just teach them wacky improv games. They need more than this. They need more. They need resources when they get out. They need resources to jobs. They need resources to take care of their kids and how to take care of their kids. I mean, I can show them a wacky scene about how to do that, but it don't mean shit if they don't have the resources. So me doing it's just that's when improv becomes a patch 'em. It's just putting salve without a Band-Aid on it. The Band-Aid is the resources and to send them to them. And things like drug abuse and alcohol abuse and homelessness. I can go as an actor and show them social skills vis-a-vis improv. But afterwards, it's like doing an improv class and not getting a curriculum afterwards. I hate that. I have a curriculum when I come to all my classes, and then you leave with an actual curriculum of here are the books you need to read. Here are the actors you need to look at. These are the things you need. It's a real workshop in my mind comes with a curriculum. Whereas if I'm doing this when I leave a prison setting, and here are the resources to HUD, and here are the resources to SNAP, and here are the resources. Oh, by the way, get a hold of my sister Angel. She, if you're in Washington State, she deals with SNAP. She deals with food services. This is what Landrys do. It means shit if it don't come with the resources. Anything that we do, including improv. Now, if you're doing a class just for actors at Goodman or Steppenwolf, yeah, it still should come with a curriculum. That's the gift. That's the real gift, to keep learning and be a better actor, to be a better improviser, to be a better comedian. When it comes to the social, political, dramatical improv, the playback, as an actor, I'm not trained. I'm good at pretending like I'm trained, but I'm not. You need to go to a therapist. Improv is not your therapy. Regular improv class at IO is not your fucking therapy.
You mean Hugh Laurie wasn't a real doctor?
No, Hugh Laurie was not a real doctor. Oh. But goddamn it, he was great in a bit of Fry and Laurie. We're talking English shit. But yeah, Everyone's like, you should have fun, but it also needs to be professional too. Whether you're doing comedic or improvisation, you take it seriously, but you take it seriously with fun.
Yeah.
You take it seriously with fun. It's great to just get on stage with a beer and some ratty ass jeans and go and play, but take it. You're there for a reason. Be at your show on time. Don't go rolling up into your motherfucking show when your call is at 7. You better be there at 6:30. At 6:45, you're pretty much late. At 7 o'clock, you're really late. At 7:02, take your ass home. Don't come roll. I had one of our shows at the Ledge. Some dude came rolling in. He literally, the show was happening. His crew was on stage, and he just rolled in drunk.
Tripped on stage.
Rolled in drunk.
We started talking.
And when they came back out, I literally said to him, Miss Go Lightly. That was the name of their ensemble. I said, well, that's the last time I'm ever inviting you motherfuckers back, because your people ain't professional, man. You people rolling up on stage late, and then only half of your set was about piss. Fuck you people. Fuck y'all. You go to UCB. Have fun there. I'm quite sure nobody seems to care in a lot of places. Guess what? If I book you to try to pay you, you need to be there. And stuff. It's like, the brother who came in, Joel Boyd, he ended up doing a fall Saturday Night Live audition. He had a lot of people there, jam-packed in our space. He was waiting for 5 other people. I'm like, nigga, your show, nigga with an A, nigga, your show is 15 minutes late. This show needs to start on time. Show starting now. And then he was like, yeah, you're in a black theater when you're told, no, bitch, start the show. He said, I'm like, no, we're not waiting. I'm like, can't we just wait for 5 more people? And literally I have the video of it, where a brother with dreads in the front was like, I agree with her. Yeah, I've been sitting in this motherfucking space for like 20 minutes waiting for the show to start. I got here on time. Fuck these other 5 people. I'm like, I'll let them in. I'm like, I don't care if they're related to Beyonce Knowles. They can motherfucking wait. I don't care if it is Beyonce. Fuck these people. I'm just like, so there is professionalism there. But I always do it with a smile and a wink and then get the fuck out of Dodge kind of thing going on.
The worst group I remember was Richter's
Oh,
thing.
Richter's thing? Oh my fucking God. They were horrible.
This guy named Richter,
and
it
was his thing.
He literally got an insurance settlement.
Yeah.
And he formed his own
improv
sketch
group. Yeah.
With people that had no training whatsoever.
No training.
And he wrote the material and he produced the show, and it was awful.
Oh my God, he did spit cum jokes. Like, woman came out with a toothbrush, put toothpaste on it, brushing her teeth. The first thing, brush her teeth and then spit it out on the stage. So there's toothpaste in her spit on stage. Then she came out and did the same thing by miming a blowjob.
That was at the old Roxy.
That was old Roxy Theater.
Which was a great space. Used to have 3 comedy shows a night, every night. Yep. 3 different groups.
Oh, yeah. Buzz from when Steve Dahl and Gary Meyer was still around. Yeah. He used to play there all the time and do blues. That was actually fun. That was actually a great space.
I remember white men with rhythm.
White Men with Rhythm was also part of that, too.
They were kind of a mainstay there.
Yeah, they were mainstays. They were actually very good. The revival of Richter's thing. I think he died. People were talking about him on another podcast. I'm just like, whatever happened to Richter's thing? I'm like, I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure the woman who did the blowjob stuff is now just a main stage in LA at what's the name of the porn place? The porn Vivid. Yeah, she is
the Vivid company.
Yeah, she's now literally a mainstay at Vivid Videos. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, you can't contain talent like that.
No, you really can't. Can you?
Or the misogyny group.
Yeah, the misogyny group. That was good.
Actually, I think didn't I just see that they're back?
Oh, which one?
There used to be a group in Chicago called Duck Logic.
Duck Logic.
And they could never. It was all these guys, these kind of guys.
Yeah, guys. Yeah,
and they figured
these guys.
They figured they needed one woman in the company.
So every time when
but they couldn't keep a woman for longer than a week
because they were horrible. So
their publicity picture was them standing around a TV screen, and they would just plop in the face of who the weekly girl was.
Weekly Woman was in their cast,
Ugh.
and they were and their improv showed it. Yeah, let's do an improv festival called the We Suck Improv Festival. And people from across the country who you never wish came to your improv festival in the first place.
The tagline could be, "You'll hate it."
This will suck. And of course, it's gonna be in happy. What's the Comic Sans? It'll be in Comic Sans. This sucks.
You do it like what's that show? Worst Cooks in America. So worst improvisers in America.
Yeah. And then people trying to teach him David Rozowski getting angry and storming off set of the shitty improv. I can see that happening with Raz. But yeah, I'm just like, whatever. Yeah, so this is another question. We've now just to completely diss a good chunk of people who are probably dead. It's horrible.
It entertained me, so I'm happy.
Good, I'm glad.
That's it for part 2 of my interview with Shaun and Hans. Come back for part 3, where Shaun and Hans will respond to my Proustian questionnaire, and we'll talk some more improv. Thanks for listening to Improv Autopsy.